Welcome back to a new episode of Nelco Comics Cover Story. I'm Clay, the Righteous Dude. This week we are featuring Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 8, Final Fate of the Flash. Normally known as the death of Barry Allen, but of course this is comic books. Very few characters ever actually die and stay dead. They always come back somehow, some way. I think the only hero that ever died and never came back was Thunderbird in the X-Men, and I could be wrong about that. This is probably my second favorite cover. My favorite cover being another Crisis cover, the one with Superman holding Supergirl. I want to say it's issue number 6. I could be wrong. But so this one is the one today. George Perez did the pencils. I did not see who did the inks or the colors. I apologize. I just didn't get to that part. But George Perez did the pencils for all the covers. I believe he did the pencils for all the magazines, all the issues, all 12 issues, covers and interiors, I believe. Perez, born June 1954, passed away in May 2022, so just a couple of years ago. Did a lot of work on a lot of things. He was in Fantastic Four, the Avengers. He did the new Teen Titans, which I was a big fan of when it came out. And you can tell his style on the covers of that. Of course, he did Crisis. Crisis, my favorite miniseries of all. And Teen Titans was at the time probably my favorite series that I was reading. He did writing and pencils on a Wonder Woman reboot after this. He debuted, according to what I found out, he debuted in Astonishing Tales number 25. I believe it was 1970. I could be wrong on that. Where he penciled two-page satire of, I believe, of Deathlock. He did work on Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. He co-created White Tiger. Kurt Swan is my favorite comic book artist, but Crisis is my favorite series, and a lot of it is because of the artwork. It's very distinct. Not always the best, and we'll go over that in just a moment, but unlike the other issues I've covered, I've actually read this comic, so I know that this scene doesn't actually really happen in the comic. So all the implied action and before and after doesn't work. Now in this particular case, the implied action is the Flash just got through beating the snot out of Psycho Pirate and is now facing up against another big bad guy. And that's what the fight that's coming. Now we know in the issue that this scene does not happen, that the Flash uses the Psycho Pirate and then runs himself into non-existence, trying to fight the Anti-Monitor. So this scene is not in the comic. We know that most of the time. In this case, I happen to actually have read it. But in this case, the artwork is still incredible. Psycho Pirate's down and out, although he's not beaten and battered like he is in the issue. The Flash looks like he's ready to continue, but up walks this other guy who we know is the Anti-Monitor. And so there's a lot of action. There's burning in the background. There's devastation, the ruins in the background. But there's some things about this issue, this cover, that are a little different. If you'll notice, there's no outlining of the Flash here, like there is here or down here. You can see the outline, but they didn't do that in this case. See, they didn't do it here. I mean, they did it here to separate because the colors are the same, the costume is all the same. But it's not normal to see this kind of artwork. Normally there's a distinct outline. It's not melding. It's almost like the fire is merging with Barry Allen, even though he's very obviously in front of it by quite a bit, because it's back behind the ruins and he's up in front of them. But this is not a style that's normal, and it stands out enough. You can see the outline of the wings on his head, on his costume, again because the colors are the same. But for it to not be here is very different. That's not a normal thing to do for the artist. Now, whoever did the inking, I think fell short. I don't know who did it. I'm not criticizing their skill, but in this particular case, because this cross hatching or this lining to make it shaded they should have just used the 4-color process to do that with the dots and stuff to make it a little different. It's all right on the arms and the waist and the belt. It's still not great, but it really fails in the chest emblem, in my opinion. Mind you, this is all my opinion. But the framing is really great. We have the anti-monitor standing here. He frames the whole scene, but the frame is complemented by the ruins, which are a similar color, but different enough to be distinct. And they frame the action of the fire and the fight and the beaten foe, the beaten enemy, however, defeated foe, sorry. So this dark framing of the light interior makes it stand out. And from a distance, you may see crisis, but you have to, and it's almost like from a distance, like what's wrong with the rest of the comic? Why am I only seeing this? It gets your attention again, what it's supposed to do. Get your attention, get you to walk over and look at it and go, wow. Then you see Final Fate of the Flash. And you think, wow, something bad's going to happen, and it does. So the colors, they're a perfect complement. The dark gray, the light gray, then the red and the yellow. And mind you, there's a lot of yellow on the costume, and it's mirrored in the back with this overwhelming yellow. And the color, use of the color, and even the flesh tones are good. I don't remember Psycho Pirate wore gloves. If he does not wear gloves, this is a mistake. If he does wear gloves, this might be all right. But Barry Allen's skin tone, the stomach and the head are all good skin tones that contrast, that stand out against the costumes. So the color work is very, except for this hand, I'm just not sure, but I don't remember if Psycho Pirate wore gloves or not. And so these colors do really, except for this shading on the chest emblem, these colors really, really complement the penciling very well. They work very well against the penciling. It's a little striking that this is all cross-hatched shading, and then we have the solids here that aren't cross-hatched or shaded. It's kind of stark to me, but that is his costume coloring, so he's got the checkerboard pattern, so I kind of understand. But this is a wonderful cover. This one, part of my favorite series, probably my second favorite cover of all. Perez just knocks it out of the park every time he worked on anything. It was incredible. Again, one of those big names that everybody knows. It's good. You can even see the teeth, and I know the inker did a lot of this. The inker and the colorist did a lot of this detail work. But you can even see the individual teeth. It's not just this blur of white. There's detail in here. You can't see Barry Allen's eyes, but that's all right. You can't see Psycho Pirate's either. But even Psycho Pirate's costume is the detail is there. So this is a pretty good cover. It's framed really well. It's I guess the composing, I guess you'd say, or I'm not an artist, so. But this is a good one. We do have this one in the store. It is $25 because it's the Final Fate of the Flash, Death of Barry Allen. We have this in the store, Nelco Comics, 1134 North Flores in San Antonio, Texas. Please come down if you're in the area for San Antonio's best selection of Silver Age comics. Probably the largest also, but I know it's the best. Come down, come in, dig through the boxes, look through the stuff on the wall and the counters. Come in, sit back here at the table with us and visit, talk about comics. What's your favorite comics? Who's your favorite artists? Come on down. Just come on down if you're in the area. If you're not, look us up online. Again, we're still working on the website, nelcocomics.com. But here on YouTube, subscribe, and like. This is not a paid channel right now, so it's if you want to see us, you're going to have to subscribe and everything to see when we get these new things coming out. All right, thanks a lot. Bye.